Mr. Hunter, you opened your case in paternity court because you say there is no way you fathered the defendant's son, Josiah. You worry she's only saying you did because of the financial security you provide for her. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Holden, you admit you were confused about your son's biological father because you were given incorrect medical information, but you are 100% certain Mr. Hunter is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hunter, you say this is about financial security?
Yes.
Tell the court why you feel that way, sir.
Because I take care of him financially. I do everything. Buy him diapers, milk, I buy clothes. Everything a father has to do to take care of a child, I do it.
So you're pretty much stepped up as a father.
Yes, ma'am.
You have, but you have doubts.
Yes, ma'am.
But Ms. Holden, has he gotten emotionally attached to Josiah as well?
Yes.
He has?
Yes, Your Honor.
So he pretty much has accepted this child as his own?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you all are in a relationship?
Yes.
What kind of relationship?
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
You boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
So take me back to how this relationship started, because I'm trying to understand how you all are boyfriend and girlfriend, but you have doubts about the paternity, but you still accept, love, and are attached to this baby like it's your own.
Yes.
So take me back to how this relationship started. Where did you meet?
Well, we lived on the same street. I met him when I was 15. Mm-hmm. We both was in a relationship. Then we both became single. I invited him over to my birthday party, and he offered to pay for the booth at the party and offered to buy the cake.
Well, that was a nice gesture for a friend, Mr. Hunter.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any benefits in the back of your mind that you were looking to get later?
No, ma'am.
You didn't, just a nice guy.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's pleasant and refreshing, right, Jerome? So, well, but eventually the benefits did happen, or you wouldn't be here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So at what point did you all turn this platonic friendship into a sexual relationship? Did you say, what about dating? How did this happen?
The night of the party, we both was intoxicated.
Oh, there we go.
I invited him over, and he came over,
Yeah, but that
and
night,
one thing led to another.
That night, we didn't sleep together.
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
Okay, so on the birthday night, you said you did have sex, and Mr. Hunter, you say you did not.
Yeah, we didn't that night.
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
Okay, so all right. Well, okay. I'm not gonna say, I was like, well, Mr. Hunter, it wasn't memorable, what is going on here? Let's move forward. So at some point, you all decide to date.
Yes.
And you decide to continue on with a sexual relationship.
Yes.
So were you having sex with protection?
No.
Yes.
Here we go. You all haven't agreed on one thing yet. Who said yes?
She said no. I said yes, we were using protection.
No, we wasn't.
Okay. That's what we call reasonable doubt in the criminal court. Reasonable doubt. So now listen. You're having sex, one says you're using protection, one says you're not. Are you having sex with anybody else? Is this a committed relationship, or did you all fall into a sexual relationship without any foundation of a commitment?
We were just friends. It wasn't a committed relationship because I knew she had another friend.
So you knew she had another friend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was this a friend you were having sex with, Ms. Holden?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you using protection with that friend?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so when you find out you're pregnant, you got one friend that you dating that Mr. Hunter is aware of, and now you've also made this friend, Mr. Hunter, into a sexual partner. When you get pregnant, who do you tell?
Mr. Hunter.
You do?
Yes.
What happened?
I called him over, and he came over, and I was so sleepy, and he was like, "You must be pregnant because I'm sick." He was telling me he was sick. And I was like, "Yes." And then he was like, "Oh, you just broke my heart." And then I was like, "Well, I'm sorry."
Why did it break your heart that she was pregnant, Mr. Hunter?
I didn't want to have no more kids because I have kids.
Okay, did you assume when she told you that the child was yours?
Yes, ma'am.
You did?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, Miss Holden, did you ever say to Mr. Hunter, well, were you still having sex with the other guy too?
No, Your Honor.
Did you think it was Mr. Hunter's child?
Well, I told him that I did sleep with somebody else, and I told him that I do apologize.
You told me it could be.
Well,
it could.
Well, I told him he could be the father.
Right. I could be.
Oh, could. In this courtroom, could is an action word because that means there could possibly be another father.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. So once you heard that, Mr. Hunter, how did you feel?
I was feeling some type of way. I was feeling like, okay, I could be as if like, okay, now you're sleeping with, who knows who you're sleeping with. I've been through other situations in my past to where like now it's like it's a role playing in my head again. Here we go again. Something, the same situation. And it's, when she said she could, it kind of like, it made me feel some type of way.
Because you've been through a paternity situation before?
Yes, ma'am.
And so once this happened, you immediately felt like, here we go again.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, because I named my son after someone else.
What?
Yeah.
So, Ms. Holden, did you know Mr. Hunter had doubts all this time?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Did you invite him to the hospital for the birth?
No, ma'am.
You didn't?
No, ma'am.
This is confusing. Now, you're paying for everything, but you don't want to get attached because of your previous paternity situation.
Right.
But you're accepting his support, right, Ms. Holden?
Yes, Your
But you
Honor.
don't invite him to the hospital?
No, he dropped me off.
I didn't want to come anyway. I took her to the hospital. I just didn't want to come because of my past. I didn't want to.
So you drove her all the way there,
Yeah, I took her.
dropped her at the hospital to have the baby,
Yes.
the baby that could be yours,
Right.
but you didn't go upstairs to
No.
participate.
No.
Did you put Mr. Hunter's name on the birth certificate, Ms. Holden?
No, Your Honor.
Did anybody bring a copy of that birth
I have
certificate?
evidence.
I'd like to see that. Jerome, hand me that evidence, please. This is Josiah's birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hunter, is that your last name under?
No, ma'am.
Whose last name is that, Ms. Holden?
The other guy.
The other guy.
So wait a minute. Mr. Hunter dropped you off at the hospital. You gave birth to the baby and named the baby after another man.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, my goodness. Miss Holden, why would you name your son after someone else if your boyfriend is standing right there?
Because I had 2 different dates from the doctor. I have the evidence to prove to you.
Oh, you brought some evidence? Let me see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Jerome, hand me that evidence.
Sure.
May I explain to you?
Yes, please explain to me,
Your
Miss
Honor.
Holden. You brought a calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
Step up to the calendar, please.
In November the 15th, this is when I slept with Mr. Hunter. I went to the doctor. My first due date they gave me was August 2nd.
Okay.
And then I went back to the doctor, and they gave me August 9th, and I slept with the other man on the 18th of November.
So that's just 3 days apart.
3 days apart, yes, ma'am.
So when you had the original due date,
It
for
led
you,
me
you
to
counted
believe,
back.
yes, that Mr. Hunter was the father.
But then you went back and sometimes the dates
date,
change
yes.
as they begin to
So that would
examine
make
the
me
baby.
believe the other man was the father of Josiah.
So at that point, you counted back and you felt like in your own mind it was more responsible to give him the other person's name.
Yes, ma'am.
But Josiah was born the
July
22nd of July.
Yes, he was born 3 weeks early. So that made me to believe that Hunter.
Oh, then you flip back and thought it was
Yes.
Mr. Hunter's baby.
Yes.
But you had already put the other guy's name on
Yes,
the birth
Your-
certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, my goodness. All right, you can return to the podium. Wow. And so did you explain all of this to Mr. Hunter?
Yes, Your Honor.
No. No,
This
ma'am.
really is, this is a mess. This really is. Josiah is named after another man. But now you're in court claiming Mr. Hunter is his biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Hunter, when you heard her explain that story, did you feel more convinced that Josiah was yours?
No, Your Honor.
You didn't?
I feel like it's more of a financial than anything because you got the dates they're all mixed up.
Right. I mean, and truth be told, I've done this long enough to know, even with Josiah coming 3 weeks early, if you sleep with 2 different men 3 days apart, unprotected, that's it's called a window of conception for a reason. And so you're still within the window.
Okay.
You in the window of doubt and in the window of confusion. You know, Mr. Hunter, I can see this really bothers you.
I mean, it bothers me because I'm starting to get attached. He recently just started coming to me, so.
I understand. And as a man, you are looking at this baby wondering if it's yours, but you know this baby is coming to you because he thinks you are his daddy.
Right.
And you're starting to form a bond?
Yeah. I mean, he recently just started calling me Dada, so, you know.
That's a beautiful thing when you hear a child say that. And they always say Dada first. They do. They do. And I see the tear in your eyes because it's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
And if he's calling you daddy and you're having doubt, what runs through your mind? It's been 8 months.
I just want peace of mind. I just want to know if that's really my child. I mean, I've been through a bad past, so everything I did with Josiah, I never did before. So that's why I'm so attached.
Yes, you've never been there every morning and seen them begin to crawl around and pull up. What is 8 months? Oh yeah, he getting ready to walk soon. So he probably crawling around and pulling up on everything.
Right.
Yes, and testing his boundaries.
Yes.
So Miss Holden, I see it makes you emotional as well.
Yes, Your Honor, because I grew up without a father.
How did it affect you growing up without a father?
It affected me emotionally because I was into sports and I didn't have a father figure there to support me. And now I have a little boy that might be a football, anything in sports, and he needed a father there to support him.
And your fear is Mr. Hunter will leave or not be as present in this child's life if it's not his biological child?
Yes, Your Honor. I think he'll leave us.
And it sounds like he's been a pretty good man.
Yes, Your Honor, he's a very good man.
Where is the other guy? Where is he?
I don't know.
You don't know even where he is?
No, Your Honor.
Did you tell him he could be a possible father?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he has had nothing to do with you or Josiah?
Don't care.
No.
He don't care.
So there is a lot on the line here and the stakes are very high. And the real truth is, Mr. Hunter, we hear a lot of cases. This is what we do each and every day. And given the circumstances and the set of facts you've put forth today, you do have a right to be confused.
Right.
Like I said, a 3-day window is a tight window. I think it's time for the results. Jerome?
There you go, Your Honor.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hunter versus Holden, when it comes to 8-month-old Josiah, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Hunter, you are not the father. So very sorry.
Sorry.
Mr. Hunter, I can see that hurt, and that's not the news I wanted to deliver today.
I'm gonna still be in his life.
Ms. Holden, have you thought about how you will prepare Josiah in terms of finding out potentially where his true biological father is?
Yes, Your
Or
Honor.
reaching back out to this gentleman to let him know?
Yes.
I'm using gentleman graciously.
I could tell you, we don't want to have nothing to do with him. Yeah. If it takes all of that to be a father to the child, we don't need it.
Well, let me say this before we go. Every child has a right to know who their biological father is.
Right.
That doesn't mean that person is going to step up to the plate and do what they're supposed to do. But they have a right to know who they are, and they also have the right to be supported by that man. And I'm just going to say this to you. Whether or not he chooses to be physically present in Josiah's life will be his own choice. But he is responsible to help take care of that child. It is beautiful and gracious that you stepped up to the plate, Mr. Hunter, but I'll tell you what, you need to go back to that courtroom in your home state and make sure he takes care of that child, because one day, Josiah may need that.
Today, two people with two different mothers are here claiming the same defendant could possibly be their biological father.
Mr. Moore, you claim you've known Mr. Taylor for most of your life.
Yes, Your Honor.
But he has never acknowledged you as a son.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he even left you in foster care.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Everett, you say you weren't even introduced to Mr. Taylor until you were 5 years old. Then you claim you didn't see him again until you were sent to live with him as a teenager.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you say it went so badly, you actually ended up putting yourself in foster care.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor, you say you deny paternity of both plaintiffs, and you have good reason with each.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Now, I'm going to hear the cases separately, starting with Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore, your aunt is here, and she says her testimony will change everything in this case. But first, how did you end up in foster care?
I ended up in foster care because he let me rot in foster care. He didn't care about nothing about me.
That is a strong, strong accusation. Please describe your childhood. How did this happen?
I went to juvenile hall because my mom was addicted to drugs. So when I got out of when I was in juvenile hall at the age 14, my mom came in there to tell me that Mr. Teller was my dad. So I walked out on her because I was upset, because why are you telling me this now? Like, and he wasn't never there for me. And now you're telling me that this is my dad. So then I get sent to foster care, and he never came and got me. I think that if he was there for me, I would be a better person than what I am now. I can't even read or write or anything. And if he was there for me to help me out, he would do it.
You said you can't read or write? Is that
No, I can't read or write or nothing. Because I didn't have a father.
Drop out of school?
No, because I didn't have a father or mother in my life. I didn't have neither one. I had to take care of my little brother and my older brother.
That's just so very sad. Mr. Taylor, do you hear what Mr. Moore is saying?
I do, Your Honor.
And what is your response?
I wasn't sure ever that this was my son.
You still can find out,
I honestly didn't know. And then all of a sudden, he's your son, he's your son, he's your son. No, Your Honor, I didn't know. So I went and I did a little investigating, and I do have right here a birth certificate that my name's not even on it.
Jerome, let me see that evidence,
His name's not on it
please.
because I had another dad, because my brother and them's dad was the dad that I was raised up with.
Mr. Taylor, I have to say though, if you knew there was a possibility that he was your son, why wouldn't you go get him out of foster care, or at least start some type of proceeding to be able to determine?
Excuse me, I never went to court for no child support. I was always in doubt. His mother, God rest her soul, very promiscuous. It was really confusing.
And so
That's
this
why
evidence that you presented, you say further validates.
convinced me.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I got evidence too that me and this man look exactly alike.
I'd like to see your evidence,
We've been looking
sir.
exactly alike since we was babies.
Did you bring that evidence,
Yes,
sir?
Your Honor, can I present this to you? We got the same chin, same nose, same mouth, same eyes, same hair structure, all that.
On the left, of course, is a picture of you, and on the right, a picture of Mr. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
And you see a striking resemblance.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor, do you see the resemblance?
I see a resemblance as far as us being the same complexion.
Mr. Taylor, what did his mother say to you? What did
His
she tell
mother
you?
said to me, now this is years later, This isn't when the child was born. That might be your son.
Were you ever told she was even pregnant?
She came and told me she was living with me. She left and she went back to her man or whoever the relationship she had. About a month later, she says, you know I'm pregnant. Yeah, and you know what I mean? You done went back with the guy that you left to be with me. Now you're back with him. Now you're coming back and you're telling me that you're pregnant?
If he knew that I wasn't a biological child, my mom told him, because my mom would not lie to me and tell me in jail. She told me in jail that he was my dad. And then I get locked up and my mom comes to me and tells me, oh, Gregory Teller is your dad.
But at
in
the same
jail,
time,
I walked out on her.
But she don't come back. She came back to me and told me that's not your son.
So, Mr. Moore, you're saying as you're lost out here in these streets, you're doing things young men shouldn't have to do. You are longing for a father figure.
Yes, yes, and I don't have one of those. So now that I got my kids, I make sure that I'm their father figure.
That's exactly what you should do. I'd like to go to your witness now, if I may. Ma'am,
Yes.
Ms. Twyman.
Yes.
Please tell us what you know about this situation, Mr. Moore's upbringing, and how can you add?
Mr. Moore's mother is my sister.
Okay.
Okay. My sister told me that Mr. Taylor could not be the father of Mr. Moore. Literally out of her mouth.
And she told you this in what context?
Because I guess when she got pregnant, she was also sleeping with other gentlemen. She's always done that. And also I've seen gentlemen come out of her house.
Why would your sister, at the position this young man was in, go to him and tell him Mr. Taylor is your biological father?
I can't speak on that.
You don't know why?
I wasn't there when she told him that.
Well, the only way we can move forward is to have the result. Jerome, the envelope. We will get to the second part of this case in just a moment. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Moore, Everett versus Taylor, pertaining to 31-year-old Eugene Moore, and as to whether Mr. Taylor is his biological father, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Taylor, you are his father. Mr. Taylor, I can see you have tears in your eyes. What are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling that I finally know instead of doubting for all these years. 31 years old. I could have been in his life so much earlier if I wouldn't have let situations and people talking to me interfere with what I had to do as far as being a father. I want to try my best to make it up as best as I can.
Would you like to give your son a hug?
I sure would.
I love you too much. All right.
So I think it's time we move on to the second part of this case. Ma'am, please explain to the court, what was life like for you growing up?
I never had a father figure in my life. I didn't meet Mr. Taylor until I was 5 years old. He came to my house in Philadelphia. I came outside, my mom was like, somebody wants to meet you. Your dad wants to meet you. I said, my dad? He was like, yeah. So when I went to the car, he was like, I'm your dad. And he said, oh, I'll be back to see you again. I never seen him again until I was 14. Until when my mother sent me.
Mr. Taylor, do you remember this?
I remember it vividly. I doubted her from the beginning. The way that I met her mother, the relationship that I had with her mother, which was a very brief relationship. To begin with, let me explain in the beginning. Her mother, lived with me for a month. She left, And I didn't see her no more. And then the next time you see me, you got a baby and you saying it's mine.
And
right after that, I was incarcerated. I was gone for 5 years.
Okay, can
when
I
I
say
came
something?
home,
yes, and just one moment, ma'am. What I want to understand from you, sir, is when she was 5 years old, you still had doubts, the same doubts you had when you saw her when you were a baby.
That's correct.
Because was this relationship with her mother exclusive, or were you aware?
no, it wasn't exclusive at all.
Did you know if her mother was sleeping with other
I
people?
knew her mother was sleeping with others.
How did you
what
know
I mean?
that?
I know that because friends of mine, long story short, after I met her mother and she stayed with me for that month, I was getting all kinds of feedback from my friends, from people I knew. Oh, you dealing with her now? You know about her? You know what's up with her? They were kind of like laughing at me for even dealing with her because they knew how promiscuous she was. And then the next thing you know, I'm tagged with this child. I don't know nothing about it. I go to jail, I come out of jail, she's 5 years old. I go past to see the mom. She tells me, this is your daughter.
Okay. For these 5 years, were you made aware anything about him?
All I
Nothing.
know is it was a man named Greg. I didn't have a daughter-father relationship. I didn't go to amusement parks when my friends went to amusement parks. I didn't go to parks. I didn't go to family reunions. I didn't go to no type of anything. He was nowhere in the picture.
Your Honor,
from 5 to
the
14
reason
years old.
I wasn't in the picture is because I had all the doubts that I had as far as the mother's
And
concerned.
so when this next encounter happened at 14,
Right.
what happened?
I was sent on a Greyhound bus to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. My grandfather, his father gave me his number. I called him and said, I'm at the bus station. He came and picked me up from the bus station, took me to the same woman's house with his daughter, treated me, neglected me, didn't enroll me at school. Enrolled me at school. Didn't buy me school clothes. He didn't buy me sneakers. He didn't buy me school supplies. He didn't buy
Your
me
Honor,
food.
she was
at times.
Your Honor, she was in high school, and she turns around every 5 minutes. I'll go up to the school. She's playing hooky.
So why is it you decided to take this girl in at age 14?
I cared. I wanted to reach out. They said that this was my child. She takes and calls me on the phone. I'm at the bus station. I'm not going to leave her at the bus station. I'm not going to do that.
So when she called to, wait a minute. When she called to say I'm at the bus station, did you know she was coming?
No.
What?
No. The next thing I know, here she is. I got to enroll her in school. As soon as she got there, I could see why she came. She was disruptive. She tore my household apart. She was playing hooky from school. She was staying out all night. And right after this year that she was there, when she goes back, she's pregnant. I'm up there saying to myself, now this is my child, so she say. So her mother say. So I take and go, and I take and look out for this child the way I do. And then she's gonna turn around and say some craziness like that when I stuck up for her?
I know why you're so passionate. It's 25 years later.
Right.
And look, I feel your pain.
He's on my birth certificate, but when I went to go get my birth certificate, it was 2 people on the birth certificate. When I took it back to the state building said to me that it was a computer error. So
a computer error, nothing.
Wait, there's 2 people on your birth certificate?
It was 2 people at the time. It was just a word named Michael on the birth certificate under Gregory Taylor.
So, do you have that birth certificate
when
copy?
I went to apply for my birth certificate again, they said that the system's changed in Philadelphia. So you got to apply for it, then you got to go back and pick it up. They don't do it same day thing. So that's why I don't have the birth certificate with me today.
Have you ever seen this birth certificate?
I've never seen it. I don't know nothing about it. I know that my name shouldn't be on it, simply behind the fact that she had a selection of people she could have put on it. And I'm just being honest about that. And it's not that I'm disrespecting her mother. I'm just telling you how her mother was.
The only way to figure out whose name should rightfully be on that birth certificate is to get the results. Jerome, I'm ready. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Moore, Everett v. Taylor, pertaining to 43-year-old Naya Everett, and as to whether Mr. Taylor is her biological father, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Taylor, you are her father.
Have a hug?
Sure.
Dad, you got your hands full with your little girl. But you know what? You're a man that has lived a long life of experience, life lessons. Just do the work, because honestly, you can fulfill for both of these. Young man, please stand up. Alongside your sister.
And I do have a beautiful bride.
Yes, you do. Oh my goodness, my day is complete. I have gotten a smile out of the beautiful Miss Everett. I'm so very happy for you. This court has resources for you to help you begin to work through this. We want you to take advantage of it. And I wish you all the very, very best of luck.
Thank you,
Court is adjourned.
Ms. Nazarine, you are here today to sue your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Rami, for being an absentee father and a deadbeat dad. You say he has caused you and your two children much pain and suffering by never stepping up as their father. Mr. Rami, you claim Ms. Nazarine has done immeasurable damage to your life and career by her very difficult personality. Ms. Nazarine, when did your relationship with Mr. Rami begin to sour?
Okay, our relationship began to sour when I became pregnant, and
things had soured long before that. She's not the most easy person to deal with. There are definitely signs that were before she got pregnant.
When you say she's not the easiest person to get along with, what do you mean specifically?
Complete irrationality. The decision to be overtly angry, volatile, and violent for things that I consider to be less than important.
like rent.
Very verbally and physically abusive.
Is that true, Ms.
No,
Nazarine?
it's absolutely not true. He and I have had one incident where he stole $500 from me and had me and my baby in a car that had a steering column that fell. Okay, so for the time that we were together, we were artists, and I was young, he was young, and he was my best friend. We tried to reconcile. He never. To this day, he's not kept a job. This man has spent 17 and 15, almost 16 years ignoring his children while trying to pursue a rap career, okay? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Not trying to pursue his GED, not trying to get a high school diploma, not trying to go to college. I put myself 90 hours, 90 units through college, raising 3 children on my own. I've always done hair. I've always worked, okay? This man does nothing.
Mr. Rami, is any part of this that she's saying true?
The fact that we might have some children together and that we spend a short period of time enjoying each other's company. Outside of that, can't really co-sign anything else.
What level of effort have you put forth to take care of the children?
Well, first of all, she decided to move to the other side of the country without talking to me about it.
Have you provided steady support?
Well, it depends on what steady is. No, I haven't sent a check every 2 weeks. No, I haven't. But when I've had a job, I have sent help. Whenever she's hit me up and asked for money, if I was able to
yes, every
help,
once in a while he sent $100. Yes, absolutely. Over the past 17 and 16 years, he paid child support when he was with his ex-second wife.
Okay, so being a father goes beyond just financial support. You know that. How about the emotional support? What about that?
If she wouldn't have taken my children to Georgia from Los Angeles where we had them, I would have been there.
Okay, so what happened to me being 7 months pregnant with a 1-year-old and you were gone for 3 years? Truth be told.
There was an incident. I was asked to bring the car to her because she had Messiah with her. Can you bring the car to Tarzana from Los Angeles? I tell her, no problem. I would love to do that for you. So Actually, what's funny is I'll tell you this story because it's more recent. I have a list.
Tell me something.
I have a list of text messages. Just to give you an example. Just to give you an example of what I've had to deal with. My brother's oldest child and only son just died. He just turned 21, died on his in his birthday month.
And I also called you when you told me that and let you know I had a $700 electric bill and your son needed to go to summer school so that he could graduate on time.
During that time,
I don't care about your brother's son. You don't care about your own son. Why would I care about your brother's son? Keep it 100. Keep it 100.
So during this time, she sends a list of text messages saying that it's nice to know that we care about the dead more than the living.
Yeah, let the dead bury the dead. I said it and I mean it.
Now, are these the text messages that you submitted to the court?
Yes.
Can you read them to me?
All right.
And I mean every last one of them.
We are sure happy to know your sorry, trifling family cares more about the dead than the living. And I will never forgive you, monsters. You will get exactly what you evil people deserve. I ain't downplaying.
I'm not.
You trying to make me lose my youth because you're a deadbeat. I'm ready to smash you, monsters. Your family does not care about us because we're too black-skinned. You have to be a big, fat, yellow hoe to get love
and I mean it.
And care.
And that's the truth.
Ms. Nazarine, those words were pretty harsh.
And I meant every one of them.
Weren't they in reference to them burying a young person? Did you say 21 years old?
No, they were
the
not
first
in
grandchild.
No,
yes.
They were not in what they were in response to. I had talked to him a week before that. I talked to him, and he told me that he was going to help me get my son in summer school, which my son has not been able to take summer school, and help me pay some bills.
But see, what I'm hearing from you, Miss Nazarine, and look, take this from me because I mean it earnestly. If you want this man to be involved in his kid's life, you've got to sometimes, at least sometimes, present yourself as a person that somebody would want to be around.
Okay,
I mean, you're a beautiful lady, and I'm keeping it real with you. There is no way you can send a text message about somebody burying someone that's a child.
That was not what the message was about.
You accuse them of caring more about a dead child than a living child.
They care about all of those children because they're
unnecessary. That was an unnecessary comparison.
Okay,
listen. That was an unnecessary comparison. And let me tell you something really real. You stooping too low because you're not a dumb lady.
Oh, I know.
You are hurt. What I'm saying to you is you are now stooping to the lowest of low because what you really are is hurt. And I'm trying to tell you right now, the court is trying to tell you right now that it's okay to just say, that hurt me. If they needed to bury this child, well, fine, then you deal with him on the level of your children on a different day. But you gotta be a big enough woman to let the family do that.
Okay, and I did.
Mr. Rami.
Yes, ma'am.
When you stand here, there's a little smirk and the body language is a little sarcastic. I'm having trouble trying to digest why you're so cavalier as we speak about little people that you have made.
Oh, I've never tried to act like I was anything other than what I am, which is...
What are you?
A loser. A loser.
No, I'm being honest. He says he's being... I want him to tell me.
I am a writer.
And so am I. And I still do hair, and I still work.
She made her decision to be with me with that information.
Really?
Okay.
Now, I've never acted like I was going to go get a job that was going to provide me with a raise and with upward mobility so I can be somebody that's making $100,000 a year. My personal opinion is the fact that we can make this happen. A whole lot of people live very well, modestly, and are able to raise children. Now, you can't do that when you're dealing with somebody that's completely irrational. Now, look, I can't do it. The reason that it all really fell apart, if you want to know, I was taking the car out to Tarzana. I mean, even if you look at this,
I wish this car would go somewhere.
Listen,
what happened?
I would like to finish if I don't get interrupted over and over again.
Tell me.
I take the car out there. When I drop it off,
why would you get the car?
She
Ms.
decides
Nazarine, if I don't find out what's wrong with this car and what's wrong with you two, I cannot help get this thing better, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Where
It's
did
not
the
about
car
the
go?
car. It's not about the car at all.
Tell me what happened.
So when I take the car there, she wants to have a discussion with me. She wants to yell and argue with me.
Okay.
I'm not going through that anymore. So I tell her that I'm leaving. At this point, I'm living with my parents. Not quite sure how she heard my statement of I'm leaving, but she decided to punch me in the face.
Lie. That's a lie.
And
that's a lie.
After she punched me in the face, the exact quote, I'll never forget it, which was, hit me.
He's a liar.
So the bottom line is this turned physical from your perspective? You're denying all of this.
What I'm saying is, he keeps on starting at bringing the bug back. The bug was freshly painted.
Oh gosh, is this car again?
I'm not talking about the car. Part of the fact is, when I went out there, she beat me up and held me hostage.
He stole $500 from me, and we almost died in the car.
Anymore, I care about kids. Mr. Rami, you know you got 2 kids out here in this world, but you know you need to be helping to support them, and you should have been helping to support them.
And as I've said over and over again,
you do.
She took my children to
Georgia. Let me have another if somebody let me talk, they might learn something. What I also get from you, though, is part of what you said today is true. Ms. Nazarine is difficult.
And I have every right to be dealing with a deadbeat who abandoned me with 1 baby and a 7-month in the womb.
Did I ask you to let me finish?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. She's difficult, but I'm a mother, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want to see the day that the father of my child tries to come up short for my baby. It's not gonna happen. If there's anything that's gonna infuriate a mother, it's for somebody to give a mediocre effort when it comes to their kids. You gotta respect that. So her frustration and her hurt is that you can stand there looking as handsome and as smart as you can be and say, I never promised her anything, I'm a writer.
A fool, that's what you are, a straight fool.
And excuse my English, because I was an English major too, but I gotta break it down with a double negative. Don't nobody want to hear nothing, that's a triple negative, about writing when we're talking about money to help support
and that's perfectly
the
fine,
kids.
Judge, but at the same time, she took my children away.
That's a lie. I've been successful at taking care of my children without your help. You need to be a father to your children. And if you're not going to be, and you want to sit here and deny and play all these games with your children, that's why they're not here. That's what you need to know. Your children don't appreciate you standing there playing games when you know for a fact both of these are your children. Let's not be ridiculous, number 1. Number 2, I told you to keep it clean and don't lie. You've done
Ms.
nothing
Nazarine,
but lie.
I do have to ask you because you brought them up. And they are old enough now to know. Do they feel that their father neglects them, or do they feel like they would want to have more of a relationship if you two could possibly just try to put your dislike for each other aside and let them have a moment?
This is what I've heard from my children. My son, he just, in my opinion, doesn't feel like this man loves or cares for him or his sister. And then my daughter said she's embarrassed that her father refuses to work. She's embarrassed that he's a wannabe rapper, almost 40. Him and I having a friendship, never gonna happen because he's a liar, he's a manipulator, and he thought that he was gonna come to my city where I was born and defame me. And all you're doing is making yourself look like a fool.
You two don't have to be friends. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's probably best for you two to have.
Never, ever.
I'm telling you, very little to do with one another on a personal level. I do not see reconciliation in this picture.
No.
However, I do see 2 people who I know are intelligent enough to understand this. You have got to love the children more than you hate each other.
I don't hate him.
You have to,
I refuse
and you
to
don't
hate.
even hate him.
I refuse to hate. He's a hater.
Well, you have
He's
to
a jealous
love
hater.
the children more
Jealous.
than you dislike him.
I don't even really dislike the fact.
Well, I'll give you another since you gotta look, Miss Nazarine, what I love with women like you is you gotta answer to everything I say, and yet your situation ain't figured out. If you love the kids the way you say you do, stop talking and give them room so maybe this man will just spend some time with them and they can have a relationship.
And he's never been denied that, so
you are intelligent and you have children. You don't have to keep barking and barking. Everybody knows you take care. Raise your hand and in this room, if you don't think she took care of her kids by herself, turn around. Turn around. Who's raising their hand? Nobody, because everybody in this room knows he didn't do anything. But the problem is if he's ever going to do something, you have got to pipe down enough to receive it.
Can I say this in my own defense?
Yes.
Let me say something in my own defense.
We know you did it
in my own defense. This is the first time in 17 years that I've ever been face to face with this issue. So you can say that I'm ranting and this and that, but I'm getting out a 17-year story in one sitting. He plays to our son and tries to neglect our daughter and treats her crazy. Okay, you never denied Messiah ever until today.
And I'm ready. I've heard enough, and I'm ready to make my ruling. I appreciate what you're saying, and like I said, I hear and feel the hurt, and a part of me feels like I could just let you go on all day because I want you to get the rant out, because when it's out, I want you to be able to leave it on the table so that he's heard everything you want him to know, and then I want you to look at him and say, when are you coming to see your kids?
I texted him yesterday.
This is what I'm saying. And then I want you, Mr. Rami, to answer definitively, when can you visit with your kids?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
Which will probably happen tomorrow.
No, it's going to happen if I allow it.
If
so
she
you might want to
allows
make some arrangements.
This is what I've had to deal with this whole time.
Oh, absolutely. Those are my children,
What I've
and
had
I
to deal
take
with the
care
whole
of them.
time.
Oh, please, you're a liar. I brought
Including
those children
phone calls.
every other weekend. You need to stop your lying. I brought them to you every other
Miss
weekend and
Nazarine,
brought food because you couldn't even feed them.
If you know this man, if you really ever knew him, you would know, and nothing you say bothers him. I mean, I am looking at this man.
Him. That's why he got ulcers. It bothers him.
Nothing you're saying is bothering him. I'm going to wrap this up because I can see right now this isn't about the kids. This isn't about the kids.
Good.
This isn't about the
Sounds
kids
good.
because this is about condemning him to the point where the whole world feels like he's a piece of potato. I want to suggest this. Let's get some order. This is not going to end today, and this is much deeper than this court can solve in this one session.
Good.
I want you to consider, just like you may consider letting him see the kids tomorrow.
I would like you to come. But it can be before the 28th when we leave. You can definitely see them.
I am
my
done
family
listening to the rant, Miss Nazarine.
I'm telling you the truth. I don't have to rant.
I would like you all to consider, along with your kids, if they will do it, family counseling, and this court will provide the resource, because my concern is that out of love and protection for your kids, you are doing the exact opposite of what you should be doing. You're angry and you're trying to protect them, but you're really pushing away the person that they've stated to you they do want a relationship with. You may not like him. He might not be paying the money. He may not be doing the right thing. But Ms. Nazarine, there's more to being a father than just the money. If he just wants to see him and they want to see him.
He came to my home. He was in my home. He's had every address that I've ever lived at.
But can he see them tomorrow?
Can
he see them tomorrow?
He can see them tomorrow as long as I don't have to orchestrate it, and as long as he takes the real sincere effort, because I've been the one always making the arrangements, always making sure.
Will you make that effort to see them tomorrow?
Yes.
I don't care if look, you're a writer, but don't write too much on the text.
Good. Yes, tomorrow. That's what I want.
Just say, hey, what time? That's it. Don't start an argument.
I don't.
Hey, what time? And then if you could just give him a time, nothing else, and then you just say, I'll be there, and then
I have my hat.
Be there. Can you do that?
Yes.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Thank you.